Hey everybody, welcome to Cruise Blog. This is Angie, and today I'm going to compare two of the biggest cruise lines in the industry, Royal Caribbean and Norwegian Cruise Line. Let's get started. Both Royal Caribbean and Norwegian Cruise Line have a lot of similarities, but they also have some key differences. When it comes to style, amenities, and itineraries, there can be a lot to consider when choosing which cruise line to sail with for your next vacation. First, let's compare style and aesthetics. When it comes to style and aesthetics, Norwegian Cruise Line tends to be more understated and modern, while Royal Caribbean thrives off of bright colors and eye-catching design. These two cruise lines are much different when it comes to their branding. In recent years, Norwegian Cruise Line has drifted towards more modern and sleek design, ushering in an atmosphere of relaxed sophistication. Royal Caribbean's newer ships are all about fun and excitement and are stocked full to the brim with new and exclusive onboard activities and amenities for guests to explore. Next, let's talk about onboard amenities, activities, and entertainment. When it comes to onboard activities and amenities, both Royal Caribbean and Norwegian Cruise Line are two cruise lines that really shine compared to other mainstream lines. Both cruise lines do a great job of providing industry firsts on board their ships when it comes to onboard activities. For example, Norwegian Cruise Line's Speedway at Sea is one of the most unique things cruise passengers can do during their vacation. This experience does come at an extra cost to passengers and is only available on some of the newer Norwegian Cruise Line vessels. Royal Caribbean is no stranger to firsts either. One of the most unique forms of entertainment offered on board their Oasis and Icon class ships is the Aqua Theater shows. These impressive shows feature awe-inspiring entertainment that truly rivals Cirque du Soleil. In addition to water shows, several Royal Caribbean ships feature ice shows. The talent displayed at these shows is exceptional, and I highly recommend checking out at least one ice show performance while on board if you have the opportunity. In addition to the ice shows, guests are able to experience ice skating themselves while at sea. Both select Royal Caribbean and Norwegian ships offer Broadway-style shows at sea. All these ships feature truly impressive acting, singing, and dancing. When it comes to other unique outdoor activities, guests will find no shortage on either of these cruise lines. Passengers can try their hand at rock climbing on the multi-story climbing walls on board some of Royal Caribbean's ships, and if passengers want to get involved in friendly competition, Norwegian Cruise Line's outdoor laser tag courses may be a fun option during a sea day. It's important to note that for both Norwegian Cruise Line and Royal Caribbean, guests will find the most, as well as the latest and greatest, onboard activities and amenities on board their newer cruise ships from both cruise lines. Let's talk about kid zones and adult-only areas. Many Norwegian Cruise Line and Royal Caribbean ships have dedicated splash zones and shallow pool areas special for children. This can be a great place for families to hang out in the sun and enjoy a day at sea together. However, it's important to note that all little ones playing in the children's splash zone must be toilet trained in order to play in the pools. Additionally, if a child's water area is something that's a must-do for your family, I recommend double-checking which ship you would like to sail on for your vacation, as not every ship features a child splash zone. When the adults are ready to enjoy some peace and quiet, they can head to the adults-only pool areas on board both Norwegian Cruise Line and Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean shines when it comes to adult-only pool areas, as they're featured on board almost all of their ships. This adult-only area is called the solarium. This area features comfortable lounge chairs, a small pool, usually at least a hot tub, and oftentimes a bar area. On board Norwegian ships, guests can find the adults area at the Spice H2O venue. This location is usually at the back of the ship and features at least one hot tub, a bar area, lounge chairs, and sometimes a small pool or shallow wading pool. It's important to know that the Spice H2O venue is not always just for adults. Children and those guests under 18 years old are sometimes allowed, but it's usually only during certain times of the day. Truly, one of the best parts of cruising is the food. There is no shortage of choices when it comes to dining on board a Norwegian Cruise Line ship. Every ship has at least 2 main dining restaurants and several specialty restaurants. On board many of Norwegian's newer vessels, guests can find up to 4 complimentary dining venues and 10 plus specialty dining locations. Norwegian offers cuisine of almost every kind on board, and not just at the restaurants. Norwegian does a great job of providing many healthy as well as more indulgent options at their buffet. One of my favorite things I enjoy about dining on board Norwegian ships is that guests are able to eat whenever and wherever they want on board each day of their voyage. This means that there's no assigned dining time or location for passengers of a Norwegian cruise. I greatly appreciate the dining flexibility because it gives guests the chance to catch a show when they want or explore the ports of call a little longer. Norwegian Cruise Line calls this freestyle cruising. They specialize in giving their guests the freedom to make their vacation exactly the way they want. I've had the privilege of sailing with Royal Caribbean a couple times now, and I've always found something appetizing and delicious on board. Something I will say that I've noticed when it comes to food when comparing Royal and Norwegian is that Norwegian appears to offer more complimentary dining options than Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean tends to offer just one or two main dining restaurants on board, in addition to the buffet. However, when it comes to the two cruise lines' older ships, I would say that Royal Caribbean has the better food on board. I was a little surprised to discover that the food on board Norwegian Sun was not what I had come to expect from Norwegian Cruise Line's quality. While sailing on Mariner of the Seas, I was always served something tasty. Now let's talk about drinks, lounges, and nightlife. Both Norwegian Cruise Line and Royal Caribbean deliver when it comes to fun nightlife. Royal Caribbean thrives at nightlife on board. This cruise line offers plenty of bars and lounges for guests to explore, as well as live music at multiple venues every night of a cruise sailing. Norwegian Cruise Line has many bars and uniquely themed lounges to explore as well. Live music can be found being played late into the night, as well as comedy shows just for adults, and silent disco parties for both adults and guests of all ages. When it comes to nightlife, both these cruise lines do a great job of making sure there is something entertaining for guests to do and see every night of their sailing. Norwegian Cruise Line does have some of the most unique bars on board a ship that I've ever seen, such as the Sky Vodka Ice Bar. This incredible venue features cocktails and mixed drinks with Sky Vodka and offers an amazing ambiance from all of the ice features. Next, let's discuss itinerary variety. Arguably, the most important aspect of cruising is the itinerary. For this reason, most of the time, I recommend that prospective cruise guests look at itineraries they would be interested in sailing on and then choose from there the ship and the cruise line. Both Royal Caribbean and Norwegian Cruise Line have cruise itineraries that travel all over the world. If you're looking to visit truly unique destinations, I would recommend checking out Norwegian Cruise Line. Guests looking to visit interesting and engaging locations such as Africa, parts of the Middle East, and more should consider a cruise with Norwegian Cruise Line. Royal Caribbean lives up to its name and has some really great itineraries in the Caribbean and Bahamas, as well as itineraries that sail all over Europe, including beautiful destinations such as the Greek Isles and Spain. Both Norwegian Cruise Line and Royal Caribbean have their own designated private islands. Royal Caribbean has a private island called Perfect Day at Coco Cay, and Norwegian Cruise Line has two private islands called Great Stirrup Cay and Harvest Cay. These private islands feature beautiful white sand beaches, dining and food locations, unique shore activities, and plenty of relaxation for guests to enjoy ashore. Perfect Day at Coco Cay and Harvest Cay have several beach areas and large pools for guests to swim in. Coco Cay recently underwent a huge refurbishment and is now one of the most prime locations in the Caribbean for cruisers to visit and enjoy. Harvest Cay is a truly unique private island, as this destination is right off the coast of Belize. In addition to beaches and pools for guests to explore, passengers of Norwegian can also visit a small animal sanctuary ashore Harvest Cay. Because these locations are private islands managed by the cruise lines, it means that travelers can only visit these destinations with the cruise line. One of the biggest pros about choosing large-scale cruise ships is the fact that there's almost always something for everybody. This includes staterooms and cabins. When it comes to choosing a stateroom on board Royal Caribbean and Norwegian, guests will be able to find a stateroom to fit any budget or need. From standard interior rooms to expansive and luxurious suites, guests have many options when sailing with these two cruise lines. For those guests looking for an added measure of luxury and exclusivity to their cruise, Norwegian Cruise Line's The Haven can be a great option. The Haven is Norwegian's luxury ship within a ship concept. The Haven is not just a series of beautiful suites, but there are also exclusive areas designated just for guests staying in a Haven category room, including a lounge, bar, pool area, and restaurant. Staying in this exclusive area of the ship is often quite expensive, but comes with perks that cannot be experienced any other way on board Norwegian Cruise Line. Guests looking at sailing on Royal Caribbean who want to experience an exclusive stateroom category but also are looking at sticking to a budget should consider a promenade view cabin or a central park cabin. These cabins are oftentimes quite affordable but offer a unique cruise experience. Similar to an ocean view stateroom, these cabins feature a window, but instead of the window looking outward towards the ocean, the window is interior and gives guests a look into either the promenade or central park, depending on which is featured on board the Royal Caribbean ship. Lastly, let's discuss the loyalty programs. Royal Caribbean's loyalty program is called the Crown and Anchor Society, while Norwegian Cruise Line's loyalty program is called Latitudes Rewards. On both these cruise lines, guests earn points towards their loyalty program with every cruise they take. For example, with Norwegian Cruise Line, guests earn 1 point for every night they spend on a cruise. The number of points guests earn can also be increased to 2 points or more per night depending on the stateroom category. Some of the benefits of various reward categories include discounts on drink packages, discounts on shore excursions, priority check-in, exclusive cocktail parties, discounts at the duty-free shops on board, discounts on photos, discounts on the internet or the Wi-Fi packages, and much more during a cruise. Royal Caribbean's Crown and Anchor Society Rewards program is very similar to that of Norwegian Cruise Line. The more guests cruise, the more rewards and perks that they have access to. This is just one of the ways that these two cruise lines encourage guests to continue cruising with them over and over again. Once a passenger cruises with Norwegian and Royal Caribbean for the first time, they are automatically a member of that cruise line's loyalty program. For every subsequent cruise thereafter, guests will earn points and work their way towards the next loyalty tier to achieve even more rewards for their next cruise. Well, there you have it, the key differences between Royal Caribbean and Norwegian Cruise Line. Have you sailed on both of these cruise lines? Which one do you prefer? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed this video. Be sure to visit Cruise Blog for more cruise tips and advice.